Yes, good morning. I'm obviously sitting in my car, eating a buttermint. So you know what that means. It's the start of another week for me, the start of another working week. And what you would have seen this morning is I sprayed 2 fragrances. And essentially, the reason I've done that is I can't decide today what I want my signature scent to be. So I brought both the fragrances with me. I've obviously applied them for this car journey. So while I'm talking, I'm going to kind of make my decision on which one I think is better for today. But obviously I did spray them both, and I wanted really just essentially to make people aware of these 2 brands really, because obviously it's Christmas time, it's winter season time, so you might be thinking more about buying sprays and, you know, wearing different sort of genres of sprays. I love the winter for fragrance time because you've got a much greater variety of notes that you might want to wear. You know, you don't have to just wear citrus, or you don't, obviously you can wear whatever fragrance whenever, but sometimes it doesn't feel very pleasant to wear heavy fragrances in the summertime, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk about these 2 brands today, because they're not brands you'd necessarily think of, and obviously sometimes when you're buying for other people and yourself around this time it can be quite expensive. So I wanted to kind of just point you in the direction of some maybe better cheap type fragrances that you could look into over this next few months. And the first one, I don't think it's a brand I've particularly mentioned, and I do apologise to US and Canada if anyone is watching from those countries. It looks like they don't particularly ship from there, but they don't update their website very well, because this is a bit of an independent company, and the company's called the English Soap Company. Now what they do, I believe they're a family run business in Sussex, England, and really they're all about sustainability, again keeping things natural, which I really like. But they do all sorts of products, and I first sort of got into them with my dad. My dad sort of bought English Soap Company soaps, hand washes, creams, and over time I used them. And English Lavender was one of our hand washes we had at home, and I just really liked the smell. And then I realised when I went on their website, because they do Black Friday deals, they do offers throughout the year, discount codes, I realised, wow, they do actually a fragrance line of English Lavender, and they do some other really nice sort of vegetal outdoors type fragrances, so those sort of floral spring summer. They're definitely a little bit more feminine, but these are unisex fragrances in general. And so I bought this one. I think it was about 15 to 18 pounds. I think it was 18 pounds off the top of my head, and it smells to me just like Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier, literally like a straight up clone. I don't think it is a clone, I just think it's where the notes have created that vibe. It's this creamy lavender, that nice sort of vanillic lavender. It doesn't cut through the cold though, this one. It's very light. It's an eau de toilette, and it performs like an eau de cologne, to be honest, but it's very, very much to me that. And Cuba Gold, which is in like a cigar bottle, it smells just like that. Now, the reason I put that on as well today, I think you can wear this type of fragrance in so many situations. That I think a cosy night in, this would be really good, because it's not projecting like Le Male. It could be a top-up spray to a Le Male, but it's also got, again, enough depth about it and versatility about it, where it's got a bit of clean from the lavender, a bit of a washing sort of smell, and then that creamy vanilla, where you could wear it in an office. You could just wear it most occasions. It's never going to be too cloying. This is just not strong enough performer to be cloying. But yeah, I just really wanted to kind of make people aware of this sort of company, because I think they're a really good company, and there's some really good fragrances. My brother had a fragrance. They do some eau de parfums, which are certainly a bit stronger. He had a really lovely orange one, and I think it's a great idea if you want to get some gifts for someone. You get soaps, I think you can get reed diffusers, all sorts of things, with creams, gels, and they've always been really good with delivery. And it just feels like you're supporting like an independent business, which is something that I like, rather than these big designer brands. Really recommend this one. So that's why I applied that one today. And the other one I applied is Smoked Oud by Marks and Spencer's. If you don't know Marks and Spencer's, they're essentially a supermarket chain in the UK, but they do dabble in clothing, food, in terms of like cafes as well, I should say, and now into sort of beauty fragrances in particular. They seem to have really gone into it, and they do focus more on clones. So, you know, they've got ones that are straight up clone. I mentioned these before, of like Paco Rabanne 1 Million, Creed Aventus, some people have said, or Vetiver smells like. Smoked Oud, it's been a little bit different. There's some people that said it smells like Black Afghano by Nasamato. Some people I've seen say it smells like Roses Vanille by Mancera. For me, and nobody's mentioned this, it smells a bit like Boss Bottled Oud or Oud Tucked by Frank Olivier. And I'll put this one on today because it's a little bit, yeah, it's very, very rosy, but it's that skanky rose which is coming from this synthetic oud. Look, I think you get £10 for 100ml for this. Don't expect anything high quality, and it is a synthetic fragrance. But I thought today, the weather's not amazing, but I'm in a job where I'm going to get quite warm today on the move. I'm going to get a bit smelly from things I'm handling. I just thought, let's go for something a little bit synthetic heavier. It's not going to matter. And this is a great sort of entry-level fragrance for people that do like, you know, those fragrances that you just want just to smell strong and you don't want to spend too much. Just a bit of a top-up through the day. It'll get you through that. But do I think it's going to be your favourite fragrance in the world? No. Do I think it's a confident-getting fragrance? No. But that's okay. So I really recommend that, but I just recommend the Marks & Spencer line anyway. They do a discovery collection. You would have seen I've got these little 2ml samples at the moment, so we'll go through them all at some point, and we'll talk about which ones I think are worth buying, which ones maybe, you know, what they're clones of as well, because I think if you're paying £10 for 100ml for any fragrance, you can't really complain, can you? It's a bargain. So how am I going to decide which one I want to wear today? Can't believe I've had to bring them both. So if we're going on purely scent and smell, I'm going to give the first round to just sort of its general sort of quality to English soap companies. English Lavender. It's very nice, it's very pleasant. Again, because they're a brand that prides themselves on being a bit more sustainable, a bit more natural, I think the oils they use are certainly better quality. And I just think for that reason it's got that extra quality that when you're in a working environment like I am today, I think I'd appreciate a little bit more. So I'm going to give the first round for sort of scent quality to the English soap company. Now, versatility, I'm going to give it again to that. I said earlier, this is very much a versatile scent, the English soap company's fragrance, and their fragrances in general. They're kind of that feeling like you're in nature. Slight floral components to a lot of them, and I think for me today, if I'm going indoors, outdoors, because I'll be in and out, I'll be working in 20 degrees Celsius and then I'll be working in 5 degrees Celsius, I think this one will work best. So if you want quality and versatility, I think those first two rounds for me, I'm going to have to go to that one. I don't hate motorbikes that drive straight down the middle of a dual carriageway and you just don't see them until the last minute. If you want performance and projection, Smoked Oud. And it is a really nice rose. If you like that dark rose sort of smell, this is such a good one for that. And again, nobody's going to be talking about it. If you buy this scent, and what I like with both of these brands, nobody's going to think that's what they are. And I think that gives you a little bit of an extra talking point. When people ask, what's your fragrance? Oh, it's from Marks & Spencer, or oh, it's from the English soap company. People go, oh, I've not heard of them, or oh, I know Marks, I didn't know they did that. It just gives you a bit of a positive, someone will remember you for that reason. Yes, it's not an expensive brand, but you're being a bit different. So if we're going for performance and longevity for this, I'm going to put them together. It's got to be Smoked Oud. So today, I've got a 9-hour shift. It'll be about 11 hours by the time I've left to come home. Smoked Oud's going to win that one. So, round 4, what should I give round 4? What should we do for round 4? Compliment factor. Got to be a bit of compliment factor. What one do I think is going to get compliments more? If they're both as strong as each other, English Lavender, because it's a much nicer, creamier scent. But I'm going to actually give this to Smoked Oud because it's just that little bit stronger. I think rose is a very pleasant note anyway. And rose has always got me a lot of attention. Whether people have said they love it or not, people have always noticed it. And I think people are going to notice this one well. And when you tell them it's a £10 fragrance, I think they're going to go, actually, I might get that, just because it's super strong. So that leaves a deciding round now. What one smells best for the car? What one am I enjoying the most while being stuck in traffic here? Oh, I'm going to give it to English Lavender. Look, it's really nice. and it does just give you that vibe. I've got a bit of a scent memory from Le Mans. For the first time I ever smelt Le Mans, I was on a training course with a boy called Callum, and I had back to Palma Colonia Pura, he had Le Mans, and he never slept in his bed there. For 2 weeks, I don't know where he slept, but we had a 2-week training course away, and he slept in his bed once, which in the 2 weeks we were there, and yeah, he had Le Mans just sitting on his desk, so I did spray it a couple of times, and I think it's taking me back to that training course, even though that isn't the exact fragrance I've got. It definitely takes me back to that training course from 2019, which is a long time ago now. So I'm just going to say, just because I think it is a sort of scent you can put in your car, I'm going to give it to English Lavender. It's one of those where you could top up at lunchtime, and I think it's absolutely perfect for that job. I think Smoke 2 is going to be a bit too heavy for most people, but I definitely recommend checking both of these websites again. English Soap Company, if you're in the UK, certainly definitely check them out, because like I said, you'll find some amazing gift ideas as well for people and for yourself. And then I think Marks and Spencer's, if you're just someone who wants cheap clones, again, they're not the highest quality, they're not the longest lasting in general, but they're so cheap, and I think you've got to just go for it if you want a clone and not worry. These are perfect. So yeah, definitely recommend both. So I thought I'd just finish this video today. Obviously I'll stop doing the darts videos now, but I wanted to see if there are any sort of darts scent stories that I could find that were quite funny. I found two. So there's a player called Dirk van Duivenbode. He's a Dutch player, and I believe he works on an aubergine farm, and he's called the Auberginius. And one of the stories I found, it did get quite a few headlines, was that, oh, this huge lorry in the wrong lane, and it's indicated too early. Essentially his opponent got angry at him because he put too much DP on. Now DP, if anyone doesn't know DP, you're going to see it in one of my videos soon, because I'm going to use it for layering. Essentially it's a cream you rub on your skin, and people use it to essentially loosen tight muscles and aches and pains. So essentially what it does, you rub it on your skin, it's like a menthol effect, heats your skin up, hopefully that'll loosen the muscles, make you feel better, but it's really pungent, it's a really strong smell. Again, that mentholy type smell. And yeah, his opponent just claimed to put him off, and I believe, I don't think they had to restart the game, I think the game obviously finished, but I think he may have been fined or something for putting too much on, or putting his opponent off, which I think's wrong, because if it's not written in the rules, you know, who's to say your fragrance isn't too strong? We all have subjective opinions on what's strong and what isn't. So I think that was unfair. And then there was another story which did make a lot of news in this country, and some of you probably know this anyway. Fartgate on stage. Two players essentially accused each other of farting on stage, and then they blamed the official, and nobody could say who done it, but basically everyone in the interviews after the game, because obviously you can see on TV the players were struggling a little bit, you know, putting faces like it stinks. Essentially were blaming each other, saying, no, I didn't do it, it wasn't me, whatever, he's guilty. And people just found it hilarious. Darts players making millions in recent times, because there's a lot of money in darts now, moaning over the bad smell. So if I was on stage, what fragrance would I wear, just in case I was to smell, or I wanted to put my opponent off? There's only one, Ted Lafferty's Pour On. If you haven't had this fragrance, I haven't got it now, I've unfortunately finished the bottle, but I will get it again at some point. The sillage on this is unbelievable. I remember walking back from the gym once, I'm probably about 100 metres away from the house. My brother had his windows open. I thought, I'm sure I'm imagining it, but I can smell Ted Lafferty's Pour On. I went in the house from being outside, walking down the road, and lo and behold, my brother had Ted Lafferty's Pour On, and I don't think that was a coincidence. I'm certain I could smell my brother's fragrance, which was this, at the end of the road. So if I wanted to put someone off, this is an old school heavy fragrance, they're not going to like it. I think it's going to give me an advantage, it's going to distract my mind as well from the nerves. So yeah, darts have had some scent stories, but probably not fragrance related, but maybe they need a few more fragrances in the darts, certainly doing the crowd. I'm also going to the World Championship Dart soon, so hopefully I'll do a bit of a video of that soon, maybe some shorts that day. which I look forward to filming as well. But yeah, nearly at work now. As I said, let me know what fragrances you recommend as well over this Christmas period. I know I've mentioned this a few times, but have you bought any fragrances so far for someone this Christmas? Are you thinking of buying any for yourself? And yeah, what's your sort of stocking filler presents? What, it doesn't have to be fragrance related here, but what sort of things are you looking to buy this Christmas? What things do you want? I don't know what I want for this Christmas, which I think is a good thing. It says I'm very content with everything, and obviously content with the fragrances I've bought. But yes, thank you very much for watching today. Hope this one wasn't too boring. I've got plenty, just to give you a bit of an update, plenty of videos coming up. Obviously I've got more fitness fragrance review videos to come. Plan to do one every other day. See when time allows. I've got quite a lot of time off at the end of December, start of January, after the Christmas rush, so there'll be plenty then. But yeah, over the next month, every other day there'll be a fitness fragrance review, and then there'll be some bits in between. I've got a really good quiz involving stickers coming up. Really can't wait to film that one. Hope to do that over the next week, so you should see that around the middle of December. So yeah, plenty to watch, hopefully for you to enjoy, plenty for me to enjoy, because I love filming it. It's a hobby that's got out of hand, so yeah, hopefully you'll join me for them soon. But thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later.